Yes, 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 guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Bootcast podcast. I'm your host, Justin. I'm here with my fellow co-host, Colby. Colby, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm a little bit more sore than usual, dude. I got my knees. I have patellar tendonitis, dude, so I'm hurting.
Colby,
Sore.
I'm not going to pretend to know what that is.
It's basically like the tendons below my kneecaps are inflamed right now, and I need to rest.
Do you have water of the knee? Is that?
No, that's
Okay,
that's
see?
that's not good. That's not good.
I struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes I just randomly thought about this. I get really good at saying fellow co-host Colby, and then other intros I cannot get that out. But today I feel like it was pretty smooth.
It was pretty smooth.
I'm gonna give myself.
It would have been even smoother if you hadn't brought it up. But you know what? That's fine. It's fine. We'll keep rolling.
Okay, man. So let's get this started off because it's 100 degrees in my freaking garage. Who is your favorite number 28?
Favorite number 28. The right answer is going to be Azpilicueta, defender
That is not
for
the right
Chelsea.
answer.
Okay, who is the right answer?
Ronaldo for Sporting Lisbon.
Oh my gosh! Yes, we all remember Ronaldo,
Dude.
number 28.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, see, if you can bring that up, I could say Steven Gerrard was number 28.
no,
I think in his first season. Come
he wasn't
on,
really.
if we were just pulling, that kind of
but
stuff.
28 Ronaldo is actually significant to his career.
Okay,
But Azpilicueta is a good shout. That dude played for Chelsea way longer than I ever realized.
oh yeah,
you know what
he
I
was
mean?
there for a long time.
Yeah, when he finally left, it was showing him playing way back in the day. I was like, holy shit, this dude's been here forever.
Yeah, he was an integral role for a lot of their Premier Leagues, and then I think of course he was there during that UCL in 2012. I don't know why the fans called him Dave. I don't know why they called him Dave. If you're a Chelsea fan, you can comment, let us know. But
Please let us know that.
Yeah, but yeah, good guy.
Yeah, good shout. Okay, man, let's get into these topics today. There's kind of some new releases that we've kind of been seeing going on. But before we get into any of our main topics, a friend of ours in our group chat, Substance Football, he sent us a TikTok of a girl who's talking about her boyfriend, and I'll let you do your video editing magic.
I'll put it right here.
But yeah, put a screenshot or whatever. You shout these people out. But her boyfriend ordered the Japan Blue laceless Preds, and he got a pair of laced reverse gunmetal
Yeah,
Mania Preds.
it's a sick colorway.
Dude, that colorway is nice.
If I pulled that, well, see, first off, because I've been full before, I was like, "This is fake." That was my first thought because of my Dick's experience.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
when she was showing, I was like, "Oh, that is nice."
Yeah, that thing was nice. I read some comments and some people were like, "Oh, this is the unreleased Pogba pair," and I was like, "Oh man, that's so sad."
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that colorway looks sharp.
Yeah, I got fooled for a second because it almost looked like when she pulled it out, it almost looked like a laceless Rotero kind of a little bit. And I was like, is that Fusion Skin? I got excited, but no. Then you informed me it was in fact Hybrid Touch 2.0.
I was saying, from everything I could tell, it looks like Hybrid Touch. Because the only reason I think that too is because to me the Rotero doesn't have all the the texturing on the sides and the toe box that the regular ones do, and that one has a lot of texturing. The Rotero is almost a little bit more smooth.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the giveaway for me. But I could be wrong. I'm not normally,
you're wrong.
but
I hope you're wrong.
not normally wrong about boots or anything, but I could be.
Yeah, a lot of the comments I saw said September is when they're looking at releasing that. I don't know how people know that, but because I haven't seen it on footy headlines or
I haven't seen anything about it. That was just the most random. And that's what she said. She ordered from I'm not going to put them on blast, but she ordered from a major retailer, or he ordered from a major retailer, and somebody just kind of fumbled.
Shockingly, it wasn't Dick's Sporting Goods, but
I was thinking about it too, though, and I wonder if this company, whenever they do their special release anniversary boots or whatever, it's always black and silver. Have you ever noticed that? So I wonder if this might be a for them only kind of colorway.
Yeah, they have done that, and they were the ones that got. Now we're just people are gonna know who we're talking about. But when they did the Tony Cruz 11 Pro remake, they were the only ones that had the blackout.
And they did the black and chrome accelerators, and they were the only ones who had the black and chrome ones. So, and I think didn't they do they did a New Balance boot? Was it the Furon?
They did.
Tequila?
They did the. was it the King? They did a really cool, like, I think it was a whiteout version of the King Ultimate, the last gen model, not the current Batman one. But that one was sick too. So they get some pretty cool colorways.
Yeah, they do some good ones. But yeah, anyways, total rants aside, we literally just saw that kind of coming into this. So I wanted to talk about those. Okay, so moving on, we've seen the new Adidas. I'm gonna call them Spark packs.
Yeah,
we have a light Spark and we have the dark Spark.
Yeah, I think it's day Spark, dark Spark.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. Which that's pretty
it's
cool.
literally just the whiteouts and the blackouts, but instead of having like silver accents,
so
it's
instead
gold.
of exactly. It's basically like the Preds. Because I've seen the wrong side. Okay, so Preds are essentially just gold here. Like you just take the silver off, put the gold.
And what do you think? What do you think?
I think the F50s look sick. The white
the
F50s.
F50s look good.
Yeah, of all of the all of that in that pack, that's the one I'd go for. And if I hadn't spent so much money, I might go for it, but we'll see.
Well, the thing. Oh, okay, we're gonna come back to that actually. Okay, the thing that I really like and I really hate about this kind of pack is I like it because people who missed out on the whiteouts and the blackouts, instead of having to pay an arm and a leg from some of these resellers, they kind of get another chance to kind of get essentially the same thing. But then on the reverse end, I'm just like, why do we have another pack? Why don't we just release more blackout and more whiteout? Like it seems I don't know how to word it. It seems like change for the sake of change kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm going to give him a pass on this one because like you said, it does kind of give, it's almost like it's instead of, okay, because people a lot of times don't know when people have like re-release like a whiteout colorway or a blackout colorway. It's just like, hey, like the only reason I think I knew on the last drop of was it the accuracy and the pure 0.1, I can't remember, but whenever they released their newest, it was like the crazy fast release in whiteout, and then they put more like whiteout Preds, whiteout Copas.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known that. But because they're changing the color, it's like, oh, hey, that's new. Like immediately, I'm like, oh, that's a new colorway.
Do you think they only did it because the F50 just came out?
Maybe, because that's exactly what they did with the crazy fast model. Like they released a crazy fast model, but instead of adding like a new color, they just made that one a whiteout, and then they just basically re-released the Preds and the Copa Pures.
Yeah, I like the accent. I think that the gold sticks out like enough on the white pair, and the black pair still looks kind of more so a blackout.
Yeah, it's harder to get the colors to pop on that one, but the white does in fact look awesome.
Yeah. We saw the pictures from, I think it was Nikki Sports. They have the F50s and the Preds, and I've seen the F50 Elite, the Pred Tongue, and I think that's it. I don't think I've seen a Copa yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Ricky P's he's always on it for like the white gold. Like he's like the first one to be like, look at this. So
Ricky loves those white and gold boots. But no, I'm excited. Again, I think it's cool that Adidas kind of is slightly tweaking it, but at the same time, I think it's kind of lazy to call that like a whole new pack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really get that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So I don't want to, in a way you could call it lazy, but like we've been asking for some more, for lack of a better term, like more normalized colorways. And to me, like white gold, that is like, I'm not going to complain about white gold.
Yeah.
Like even if it is a little bit lazy, like the blackout pairs, I'm not really into, but white gold, you got me. I'll give you a pass on that one.
Okay. Speaking of white and gold, give the people an update on your Tony Cruz, because you sent me some scathing text messages. I could hear your voice in my head when I read those.
Well, okay. It's a good boot, right? I'm going to get that out of the way. But the durability is like I said last year with the 11 Pro remake. It's just like, I'm just so afraid this thing is not going to hold up. And like, this isn't going to show up on camera very well, but it's just, I'll put the pics on screen. But yeah, 10 minutes in these boots and they're already peeling pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
the leather, not the sole plate.
Yeah, not the sole plate, the leather, which like is expected from a leather boot. Like, I don't want to pull everything off my shelf here, but if you look at something like the 18.1s, like, yeah, okay, like that all peels off, but that took maybe
months?
Months, yeah. So this this
It's
took
the
a while.
turf, man. Turf
Yeah.
is so hard on those leather boots.
Yeah, so I'm only gonna play on these on FG surfaces, but I gotta wait for these Texas fields to look better, man. They're trash right now.
Yeah. So again, I know it's been a while since you had the white and blue ones, but wearing these, do you feel any difference? Do they feel any more quality, or are you like, no, they're pretty much still the same thing?
Yeah, for the most part they're the same. I've asked a few people. I know Boot Maniac has the black pair as well as this pair, and he says they're basically the same. Like maybe a touch more quality on the leather here. And to be fair, these were actually a lot more plush than I thought, which is kind of funny because I bet if you took your Copa Icons out, played on the same like surfaces as me, I doubt they'd peel as much as these. So I don't know if it's like the way they finish it or if it's just like the quality of the materials, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to me. I'm like, oh, if they could figure out a way, because it's not bad. Like I think they could just sell this as like a retail like boot. Like they could make this the Copa Icon theoretically, but like I just think that they went a bit in the opposite direction of increasing the price and making it more about Tony Cruz.
Yeah.
And therefore the value goes up and you limit to 5,000 pairs, and here we are.
Yeah, I've noticed too that, I don't know if I can speak for you, but I can speak for myself, that I feel like white leather always gets torn up faster. And I don't know if it's because they bleach the leather so much to make it that white color, but something about white leather boots always end up tearing, especially on turf, way faster in my opinion than like black or some other colors.
Yeah, and I try hard not to use like especially like leather boots on turf because they do peel back. And like I'm trying to think of a boot that's like they built these Tiempos like the 8s, the 7, 8s, and 9s so well, like that like really doesn't show any like sign there.
Yeah, it's not tearing.
Yeah, exactly. And I've used these a lot actually on AG, so I don't know. Could be just like the build quality.
Yeah. And again, it's a boot from a different time, and it was made a different way. So like that's something like I try to keep in mind with some of those boots is like boots back then were not the highest quality. The way they did things wasn't the highest quality. I mean, the 11, again, I've said it before on the podcast, the 11 Pro wasn't that good of a boot whenever it was current, People didn't love it for a reason, besides Tony Cruz. That's about it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But speaking of gold boots, you've been watching and keeping your eyes on Messi's, what is it? Golden Trufino? Is that how you say it?
I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to say Messi's gold
The
boots.
new Messi F50s.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you sent me some stuff about J Mike. What did J Mike have to say?
He just said, well, I mean, the caption of the video was, could this be a contender for boot of the year? Now, I haven't played in them, but I know that a lot of people, and we've talked about it on this podcast, we really enjoyed the Hybrid Touch 1.0 because of the way that it feels, and it almost feels like a more comfortable, sort of more plush material. So putting that on the like current F50 model that I would argue has a great sole plate. I know it's not the Gamba Track sole plate that a lot of people want. I know James was talking about. Yeah, James, he loves that sole plate. But yeah, you put that on the current model. Not a fan of the burrito tongue, but it's a different touch and feel. So yeah, it's one of those, like, it almost brings, for a lot of people, not including myself, but it brings back that classic 2014 kind of F50 touch.
Yeah, I know Ricky was saying that he was a bigger fan actually of the Messi ones, and he liked the burrito tongue better than the tunnel tongue that we've codenamed it. And then another reseller guy that I've kind of done business with, he was basically saying that for him, he felt like the normal F50s just overall felt stiffer than the Messi ones. So he just said like the original Hybrid Touch feels a little bit softer and a little bit, he said like thicker / more padded. But he said if you want like more like almost old school mercurial, like Vapor 8, Vapor 9, he said the normal F50 is probably more so your way to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like I said, when I had my F50s and I was kind of going back and forth between the women's and the men's, and I was telling you, it seemed like it was going to be a much thinner upper than it actually was. Like I thought it was going to be a almost barefoot feel. So I wonder if you get like a more like a closer touch on the ball feeling between the two. And I wonder if it also gives you a bit more width, because I know that some people have talked about kind of like the narrowness at the end of the current F50 model.
Yeah, I would like to have both in hand and like on feet, kind of at the same time, like I was able to do with my regular FTs and the Rotero, and like just really feel the difference between them. Because the Rotero and the regular FTs are kind of night and day in some senses. So it would be interesting to see how those Messi versus the original F50s are. And then I've heard that the chameleon F50s are different than the... What's the current pack called? The red, white, and blue ones?
They're the advancement pack.
Advancement pack. Okay, I've heard that the chameleon feel different than the advancement. So, again, I know like they say colors can change materials and yada, yada, yada. But it would be really interesting to compare like all three of those and see what...
That is wild, man. So the chameleon colorway, which is the first, advancement second, Messi third, all different textures on the top. Like that, I mean, Adidas keeping us on our toes.
They're keeping us on our toes. And you know what? Say what you want. Like that is... We've talked about paralysis by, analysis a lot. But that almost covers like 3 different types of people and what people would want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think in some ways it is smart. It sucks that they're limited, especially the chameleons, and now I think the Messis are sold out by now.
Yeah, they were pretty fast. They sold pretty fast.
But that's cool that you do give consumers multiple options, kind of for the same boot.
Yeah, it's definitely different than the route that Nike's going. Like I honestly appreciate as much differentiation as we've seen from them. It just, everything is exciting. Like I feel like anytime a new, like just with that picture that you and I saw earlier in this podcast.
Oh yeah,
it's like each time a new colorway comes out, we're like, okay, is that fusion skin? Like what are they pulling here? Okay, this is something I wanted to ask you. Do you think, because of the way the Rotero was released, where we did not know that it was going to be leather until the review, are they going to do the exact same thing with an F50 to drive sales, or will they tell us beforehand?
Like a leather F50?
Yeah.
I don't think that there is going to be a leather F50.
You don't think so? You don't think they'll do a fusion skin?
I think the hybrid, this Messi hybrid touch one is kind of the weird one.
Okay.
Like I just think that's what they're going to do. That I think it's a way to keep, like, to make one special boot more special. Maybe if they do another Messi colorway, I could see them, okay, here's another hybrid touch-upper. This is what he wears, yada, yada, yada. But it's the same thing I keep telling all the guys. I don't think there's going to be another leather/fusion skin Predator on this generation. On the next generation, there might be. But it's the same thing with the Edge. The Edge had the 94, and that's the only one I think that was leather.
Yeah.
The Accuracy, I don't even think had one.
I don't think the Accuracy did not have one. I don't even know if the Accuracy had like... Did they?
Did the Accuracy have any weird ones? I don't think it did.
No, it was pretty plain, but a lot of people really liked it for the width of the Accuracy and like the volume that you got for wide-footed.
And to be fair, with the Accuracy, I felt like the upper was kind of leather-ish. Like it felt more padded than the current ones do.
Right.
So maybe that's why they didn't. But yeah, I mean, the 94, this is the only leather one they had in the Edge, and this is the one that everybody seemed to, if they liked the Edge or could deal with it, this is the one they liked. So I think that's what the Rotero is essentially going to be, is the Rotero is going to be this, I don't want to like harp on it too much or love on it too much, because everybody gives me so much crap because I'm such a Rotero, like I'm the Rotero guy at this point. But I think it's going to be, out of this gen, I think it will in time kind of become like the unicorn of this generation. Like I think later on people are really gonna be like, oh shit, I should have held on to that, or oh, I wish I had another pair.
No, I think you're right, because as much as I love my Preds, I still cannot break on, this is my right foot, but on the left foot, like right here. Like if it was leather, I know it would form to my foot, but like, dude, I'm still dealing with some pain on the outside of my foot. Just like, it doesn't happen right away. It takes a little bit of playtime, but I'm like, this should be broken in by now.
What does that feel like? Because I don't have wide feet, so I don't struggle with those kind of things. So is it like blistery?
Yeah. So basically, like out here on the outside rim, and I know, like I've seen it makes me like almost like happy when Noah talks about it, because I'm like, dude, I deal with the same stuff. Like on the outside of my foot here, going into my pinky toe, it just almost gives it way too much pressure. Like it should expand, but then it doesn't. And that Hybrid Touch 2.0 material, it's great. It's a great material. It just does not stretch enough.
Yeah, there's no give.
Yeah, there's no give. And I think if they added more boots with fusion skin, like I'd be first in line, because like that would give me the relief I need to wear a boot like that's this nice, but be able to be comfortable in it.
Okay, so hindsight's 2020, and knowing what you know, would you go back and buy a Rotero now? Like,
yes,
you know,
yes, I would.
There's certain boots where I'm like, damn, if I would have known that, I would have held on to those or whatever. You know, I would have never worn those.
Yes, I would have. I would have definitely bought a Rotero.
Yeah. Do you remember who told you to buy the Rotero when it was like coming out, and they were like sending you links like, hey, here's a website. Here's a website.
Yeah.
Hey, this one has your size. Go buy them.
Well, see, I thought the Pred wouldn't fit my foot no matter what, and then I was still kind of skeptical on like how much does it affect the heel slippage? How much does the like FT affect the heel slippage? Those are my two things, but I would definitely do it now.
Yeah,
in hindsight,
knowing what we know, you know, knowing's half the battle. But part of me still wonders if, because I told you from the get-go I didn't think that the Pred was going to fit your foot, and because that spot won't break in, I wonder if I was kind of right.
You were. I think you were kind of right. They're an amazing boot. What's ironic is like the because of the little extra length that the F50 gives, like it was like actually a more comfortable boot for like my toes there. I mean, this is like, I think this is a better wraparound fitting boot for my foot, but the F50 like allowed my foot to, I don't know, I guess breathe more, even with like the little narrowing at the toe box.
Is this one of those times where it's like you need like a custom length, like you need almost like a 9 3/4?
Yeah, I think I'd be a really annoying professional player. Like if I wore Adidas boots, I'd be like, I need this buffed out. You know,
we need to do like a, not a Franken boot, but like if you were a pro, how would you, like, what changes would you want to your boot? I think that would be a good thing. If you know what's ironic? Interested in that, let us know.
This is we're just off the rails here. But you know what's ironic is like the boot that fit me the best was ironically my favorite boots like over the years were the Tiempos, and like those always fit properly. I don't understand like when I started doing like going from that and trying other, I was like this sizing is weird. Like even the until the Tiempo 10, obviously that one fits a little bit different. The length is still right, but like there wasn't a Tiempo that I was like, I can't, you know, like it's frustrating, dude. It's frustrating.
Yeah. See, that's the problem being like into boots like we are, is because like again, hindsight's 2020, but I'm sure you're telling yourself like, just buy a whole bunch of Tiempo 9s and you'll be set. You don't need to wear or Tiempo 8s. Like nobody likes them. Just buy them all up, and you'd have been set. But we like boots and we like change things and destroy our feet.
Yeah, and then sometimes they change them for the worse, and you have to wait a couple generations so you can, you know, get back. So like Adidas is kind of where it's at right now. Nike needs to get back.
Okay, so let's keep moving on to people who are unhappy with boots. Ronaldo.
Yes.
The Euros. Okay, so we need to talk about this because it seems like it's making headlines, and in a way it probably shouldn't. It's probably, well, I think this is the boot community looking for something that isn't there, and we're all trying to like be a detective and figure this all out, and there's really nothing to figure out.
Okay, let's talk about this. So during the Euro match for Portugal, the most recent one, he started off wearing his MDS. I believe it's the MDS 8s, the green ones.
Yeah, that are all chopped up.
Yeah, they're all chopped up. It got the scissors out. Well, what I noticed was that Bernardo Silva goal, when he scored, Ronaldo kind of had slipped and like rolled over. You can go watch the highlights. At halftime, he comes out in the Mad Brilliance version, but they weren't his boots. They were Bruno's boots. We saw that based off of like people got like up close shots of Bruno's kids' names on Ronaldo's boots. But as of today,
and they were
Ronaldo,
vapors.
Yes, those are vapors, and now he's back in his Superflies from a picture from Portugal today in training. So it's like you said, are we looking for something that's not there? Are we looking for like, oh hey guys, like I, you know, like wrapped up my little feud with Nike, everything's all good now, image rights all good. Like, what do you think's going on here?
Okay. I know that he is, I don't know this firsthand, obviously I don't know the guy, but from history of how he is and from articles I read, he is like the anti-John Terry. You remember how John Terry used to get 3 boots every game? He'd have a warm-up pair, a First half pair, second half pair. Okay, Ronaldo is the opposite. He does not like to change boots. Like, it's a known thing. Like, if you go back and look at his, I think the best ones that you can see are I think it's the Gala Glimmer Superfly 4s, the black sparkly ones. And then when he got the silverware, the silver sparkly ones, he wore the silver sparkly ones until they were black. Like, he's known that he's kind of superstitious and he doesn't like to change his boots. And so I think when he had the MDS 8s, because I don't think he wore the 7s. So when he finally got into the MDS 8s, he was wearing those. And didn't he finish with, in the Saudi League, as top goal scorer wearing those?
Something like that.
So see, it's like part of that makes me wonder if he's like, okay, like, you know, the superstitions start going. And then the thing that I noticed was his boots nowadays are FG. He's been wearing FG pretty much since Juventus. I think he might have wore SG again when he went to United, but now that he's back in Saudi because the fields are drier, he wears SG or FG. And then when he got Bruno's boots on, it was SG.
Yes.
So I think it was just one of those, like, he's annoyed. He goes in the room. He's like, I'm not wearing these. I need boots. Ronnie, you don't have any. Bruno's like, here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, here. And then Nike's like, hey, take your boots. Like, we have boots for you.
Yeah. Just take them. So that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I think that's way more accurate what you've just said, but it was pretty cool to see some of the comments. Like, after he assisted to Bruno in Bruno's boots, it was like one of those, like, the boots are returning the ball to their owner. I saw a few of those. I was like, that's pretty funny.
I saw it was a meme, and it was like, it says when it showed Ronaldo give the assist to Bruno, and it's like when Ronaldo finally gets called selfless, and it's that Homelander meme where he's like,
I saw that.
But they deep faked Ronaldo on it.
Like, you guys like that? Yeah.
It was so funny,
bro. Yes.
And then all the compilations started coming out. Like, he's always been selfless, and he's like getting assists or trying to get assists. I'm like, no, he's not. Like,
no,
let's
dude.
not pretend.
Bro, you can go watch highlights of other guys at Real Madrid scoring and him just looking pissed off.
Oh, like, yeah. I remember when Bale did, he threw his hands up in the air.
Yeah, he was pissed.
You know what, though? Like, I always give him a pass because he's a goal scorer, and that's what goal scorers do. They want to score goals. Ruud van Nistelrooy was the exact same way. I remember that's pretty much why they got into a fight, because Ruud was getting pissed off at training that Ronaldo. He's like, how can I score if I don't know what the F he's going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this. So, like, goal scorers want to score. I'm sure Lewandowski is the same way. I'm not going to name that bum from England.
Yeah.
But other great goal scorers. Alan Shearer. I know Alan Shearer was that way. He was huge about, give me the ball. Like, I want to score. So,
you know, that bum from England sometimes makes, like, pretty good through balls from, like, in the center. But, you know, I won't say nothing about him.
What is his position?
Okay, fine. You got me.
What is he picked to do?
Striker. All right.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
There you go.
What do strikers do? They score.
Okay.
What does that bum not do? That.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep going, because, yeah, that's just kind of my opinions. You know, not to be a Ronnie fanboy. I just think it's one of those, we're all in the boot community. We need something to talk about. He's always something to talk about. So we're like, oh, you know, is he having this huge bust up with Nike? And I think, honestly, you know, part of me wonders, too, if the reason Nike's not so on to him and be like, you have to change your boots, is because he's getting old. He's kind of starting to phase out.
Yeah, speaking of this topic, because I know it was brought up, I think Substance brought this up as well, and they did on the football boot hour. Go check those guys out; they're awesome. That he wasn't used in the Mercurial Vapor 16 promo. They used Mbappe.
Oh, see?
So they're already kind of phasing him out, which we've talked about before. You know, like you say, he's getting old. They're phasing him out.
They did the same thing to R9. R9 phased out of he was the Mercurial. And then they brought in Cristiano, and I mean, Cristiano's been the face, I think, since the Vapor 4? Vapor 3, Vapor 4. And we're about to be on 16, so.
Yeah, pretty good run.
Yeah, he's been amazing. He's got a lifetime contract with Nike, but, like, the game still moves on. These brands still, they want to make money, and they're going to capitalize. So it just continues to move on.
Yeah. All right, man. Speaking of Nike, they are, in 2025, bringing back the Total 90. But not in the way we think. They're going to bring them back as lifestyle shoes. So I think there's 4 colorways they mentioned. I don't have them on my notes here, but I think it's the black with the silver 90, the yellow Brazil colors, The silver and the red 90, I think, is on there as well.
I saw the silver and red and the black. I thought it was the white and gold, or like the champagne and the gold.
Oh man,
I could be totally wrong. Don't stress it. But okay, I'm just gonna come out and say this. Who cares? Who cares? Why would I want these as lifestyle shoes?
Yeah, I agree, dude.
Dude, if I see somebody who's not wearing Sambas, like any other indoor shoes, as regular shoes, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I do. Hey, easy there, because I do that with the Street Gato. All right,
that's kind of like a Nike's Samba. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
there's like certain silhouettes you can get away with.
You can get away with that, but you can't get away with like certain ones. Certain ones look stupid when you're walking around. Like, come on, guys, come on.
This is one of those ones where it's like, I know retro is really in, and like people have been really big in retro jerseys, especially like the big baggy retro jerseys and stuff. But like retro cleats / indoor boots as lifestyle shit, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna be like playable. I'm sure they're gonna have like a surface on the bottom that like you could go out and play, which is kind of cool. Like if you play futsal, but like for me, I'm like, just like I'd rather just have the boot.
Yeah,
just
I'd rather
give
have
me
an
the
FG.
boot. Dude, I saw something recently related to this where they made, it was like an Air Max shoe that they took the one of the old Tiempo legends from '05, and it was like a silver black. And I remember like some of my friends had those, but they put it on like an Air Max shoe for the colorway, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, why would I'm not gonna buy this shoe. Like, this isn't for me. Like, who cares? Like, what are the chances that in the Venn diagram, people that like the Tiempos and like these Air Maxes are gonna fit here? Like, is that your target audience? Like, I don't understand.
That's like niche of a niche,
right? Yeah, come on, Nike.
Yeah, I mean, again, I get it, like the retro thing. Like, I thought that the jerseys that they released already, the Brazil jerseys,
the Brazilian,
and like the jacket and stuff, I thought that was cool. I'm like, okay, I get that, but like, why the total 90 of all boots too?
Yeah. And then, I mean, and this is the other thing too, is because I believe Substance mentioned this also, is like, if you were born after 2000, the year 2000, this isn't a boot for you. And like, that's absolutely right, because I remember those specifically the Total 93 was super popular when I was in high school, like super popular, like the big 90.
Is that these ones? Is that the Total 93?
The ones with the big, yeah, exactly.
That's the ones that they're remaking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, but who is it for other than guys that are like into their 30s?
Yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, I remember there's an old picture that I've seen of like some of the Man U players, and they're like in street gear and they've got indoor shoes on. I think Waza's wearing them and somebody else is wearing them too. And it's like so cringe to see that picture. So I just can't imagine like seeing like Joe Schmo just like walking up in some T90s. I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. So I think they should just keep the retro boots as retro boots. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't need lifestyle shoes.
Yeah, no, just that's the thing. It's like people want boots. Make the boot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can. I wouldn't even care. Okay, if they did it like where they did. Okay, here's the question for you: would you want them to do the CTR 360 Maestri 3 1-to-1, like everything's the exact same, or would you rather them do it like that? What was it, the T90 Laser 1, where it was like all the upper was the exact same, but the sole plate was I think it was the Hypervenom 3 sole plate.
I'm a big fan of like a remake where they use the current sole plate. I prefer that.
The
like,
modern
I honestly
tooling?
Yes, the modern tooling. I think the modern tooling, even though people want to go back and look at things in rose-colored glasses, I think the modern tooling is always going to be, for the most part, like better. Yeah. Because uppers are uppers. I mean, but like modern tooling, like, I mean, I know people aren't super huge fans of like the torsion frame, but something like that.
Okay, cool. Okay, if you could bring back one boot that you're like, I want to remake it, what would you bring back? And what sole plate would you use? You can't mix brands, so it's just one brand, and you got to pick a current sole plate.
I would bring back the Tiempo Air Legends, the '05 versions, and I would put them on the Tiempo Legend 7, 8 Soul Plate. Because that Soul Plate rocks. Because that's the Soul Plate they used for... Because I love the 7s, I love the 8s, and that's the ones they used for the Montebalunas. That Soul Plate kicks ass.
Yeah, but that's not a current Soul Plate. You'd have to pick the 10.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
but I don't like the 10.
Yeah, see? So you're going to go with the GX Luna?
No, this sucks. Why did we pick this
Merc?
generation? God.
Because you have to. That's
That's
how they do it.
The Merc is the only good Soul Plate from Nike right now, right? Arguably.
I like the Luna Soul Plate.
I know you do.
I don't think it would work on that Tiempo.
I don't.
The 10. I don't think the 10 is that bad.
Okay, I'd go with the 10 because you got to keep if you're gonna keep traditional Tiempo, you got to keep the conical. So I got to go with the 10, even though it's not my favorite Tiempo Soul Plate.
I think if I had to pick, I'd probably go Power Swerve, man. I really want a pair of those.
You and Lockhart want that so bad.
Oh yeah, that boot is so good. I don't know if I'd put it on the actual Pred Soul Plate. No, you know what Soul Plate? Oh no, that would make it weird. I'd put it on the Pred Soul Plate.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a boot we didn't talk about that we totally just like glazed, like totally missed. I was gonna say I'd want to put it on that F50 Plus Soul Plate.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know how that pocket of foam would mess with the Power Swerve.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting topic. Yeah, did you see Noah's review of the F50 Plus?
Yeah, did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
You see that dig he had at me?
Yeah. Which is well earned by you, man. Come on.
There was even comments about it. I was like, oh my god.
Look, man, if you stop talking about the edge, you wouldn't catch strays like that. Bro.
Dude, I stand on that hill. I die solo on that hill. 100%. I feel like Braveheart. I'm like, for the edge. No, yeah, I watched his. I was super excited about that review. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Let me ask you this: do you think that they messed up Adidas by not making that model, that Plus model, with laces? Do you think that's gonna make a lot of people go, it's pretty cool, but it's not for me if it doesn't have laces?
That's a really hard question. I think in the grand scheme, yes. But I think that it definitely still lives true to our laceless model is the best model on a speed boot.
But didn't we like disprove that with
the only one was the Crazy Fast? That was it. But a lot of people don't like the Crazy Fast Plus because it was too thin.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. All right, while we're on this topic, I'm going to include a comment real quick from Baramir.
Okay.
It says, have companies gone too soft and conservative regarding hardcore speed boots to appeal to the masses? And is the Puma Ultra Carbon being underappreciated for the level of new tech and innovation just because it's not like Nike or Adi? And is the nostalgic name of the F50 carrying that boot hard? As an owner of the prior Crazy Fast Plus and recently tried the new F50s with the intention of buying them, I was honestly so underwhelmed by the stiff upper, or at least compared to how reviewers are gushing over it. Also, the shaping is not the nicest, too claustrophobic toe box, and the sole plate is sad compared to the prior model. So basically, he's saying like they're going in the direction minus the 50 plus that we're talking about, but the regular F50 Elite model right now, the laced and laceless, he's saying have gone away from this like F50 plus type rigid stiff sole plate. Like what's your opinion on this?
Okay, do I think that the Puma Ultra Carbon 5 is underappreciated? I'm going to say yes, because it is the most old school speed boot-ish. But I think from talking to plenty of our friends that boot is nowhere near a masterpiece.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've heard that. I've seen the lace holes kind of rip a little bit when people are lacing them. I still think that sole plate is fucking wild. And that stud pattern, it just looks like death. Like that looks like death on a boot. But the length thing is super weird. So if the length plus, okay, if you have to go down half a size, it's way too tight. And if you go true to size, it's way too long. like if the boot doesn't really fit anybody, I'm like, it's kind of a bad boot.
Yeah, see, and this is where ideas and like intentions, like as good as they are, and like to try to innovate, it's like, okay, cool, but it's still not a good boot. Like it's still not a comfortable boot. It's still not like it doesn't fit to the right size. And even on the new King, like the new King, you have to go up half a size. So you have to be a boot nerd and know all these things. Like if I get a Carbon, I've got to go down half a size. If I get a Puma King, go up half a size. It's just like to keep all these things in your head is stupid. It's like, can't we just like get the sizing right to begin with?
Yeah.
Puma Future runs like a quarter size long. So
yeah, it's definitely it's like I've said before on the podcast, and I've told you personally, some boots are cool as a concept, and that's all they need to be. You know what I mean? They don't have to actually be good in practice because it's a concept. We're going to adapt on that. We're going to build on it. So I think that the Carbon 5 is a great starting point, but I think that before anything else, they have to get that fit right. Like I don't know whose feet Puma is measuring. Like their sizes are wild. Like wild. For each silo, like you said.
Yeah. And going back to my question, so his question, my question, I think that Adidas kind of, like, for the most part, covered their butts with this F50 Plus model, saying, like, hey, look, for those of you who are hardcore speed boot guys, like, we do have this option available for you. And we have, what's the boost technology that they put
Light
underneath?
Strike Pro.
The Light Strike Pro, we've got that. It's curved up. It's more snappy. Like, here, we've got you covered. I think they should have. I mean, it would have been ridiculous, and even Noah says this in his review, that like going to a like 5-tier elite model is just confusing and stupid and probably hard to sell. But I would have preferred something that had laces on it. But that being said, I prefer the flatter, more like I guess less hardcore version, like in the normal F50 Elite.
Yeah. Well, I think that where I think Adidas messed up is the light. What is it? The Plus model. That should have been the chameleon along with the laced elite. Those two should have been the chameleons, not the regular laced or laceless one. You know what I mean? So I think if they would have done those two, I think that Adidas would have been like really like, hey, we got the super, super hardcore version and we got the regular version. And then I think, like you said, that would have covered both bases. I do think that the F50 name is carrying pretty hard right now. Just like I think that the tongue is carrying the Predator pretty hard right now. Do I want boots to go back to being... I do think I would... I want to say I think I want speed boots to be more hardcore speed boots. Like to me, the pinnacle speed boot, Vapor 8, Vapor 9. That is like a stiletto for men. That's what that boot is. And I love that boot. Boots.
Yeah. In this same question, he also brings up saying that, like, should Adidas have gone with a more aggressive FG pattern since they had a dedicated conical AG pattern? I think I addressed that we were talking about it maybe 2-3 podcasts ago, because the way they did their AG model, it's like, oh, like if you had something like this, like you could have gone more, like if you wanted to, you could have gone like some chevron blades or something more aggressive, more bite. Because like when I was playing in the F50s, I felt really like on turf, I felt safe. I felt like I could turn. Like it's, I mean, you've got some half conicals on there. It's a really good sole plate for neutrality.
Yeah, I think they messed up with the AG. I don't necessarily think they messed up on the FG, but yeah, the two are they're too similar.
Right.
We'll say that. It's kind of like what was their last one? Was it the Pred that just had like the extra stud? That was the only... No, that's the current one, right? Where it's like the AG Pred has like one more stud than the FG.
Is that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's something, or maybe it was the last gen. But there was a gen where that's all it was. Like the studs were the same length, it just had one extra stud in the middle. So, yeah, I think they could have gone more aggressive. But I think if you want an aggressive speed boot, you should go with the Plus model.
Right. And then I know we're on the, I'm sure it's, what are we, like maybe less than a month away now from the Vapor 16, so that should be coming here pretty soon.
Yeah, that one, at first I wasn't excited, but the more I read about it and the more I've seen, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
I don't love Mercs, but this looks
one
good.
might change your mind.
And from what I've heard, it will change our mind.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't an F50 guy, but now I'm like, I would get a pair of those white gold F50s. Like, I really would.
Well,
They look good.
Would you get the plus, or would you get just the elite?
No, I'd get the elite.
Okay.
I'm boring.
Yeah.
I drive the speed limit.
We're dads.
Yeah.
That's how we are.
I gotta stay safe. On these knees, I can't handle that much.
Bro, don't be spending so much time on your knees.
I know, right?
Okay, well, we're going to save... We talked about answering Noah's, but we're going to save that for the next episode, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot. If you guys have any questions or ideas or anything that you want us to talk about, let us know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, smash the subscribe, and Colby, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Kicking with Kolbs on Instagram and at Kicking with Kolbs on YouTube.
And you can find me at Texas Cleat Collector on Instagram as well as YouTube. And you can find both of us at Bootcast Pod on Instagram. And with that, we will see you guys in the next one. Take care.